Abraham Ohazy here with Pigs from the Past, and I'm here with a very special guest, a very good friend of mine, Brendan Sullivan, one of the best running backs from Poway High School and San Diego State, here all in San Diego, and here's joining us on the PPR. My man, thanks for joining us, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderfully well, man. Thanks for having me. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing great, man. It's nice to see you. I know it's been with COVID and everything like a year or so since I've been able to see you, and usually it's at least like once or twice a year I'm seeing you. So it's kind of weird not seeing you for a while. So feeling good, man. I wanted to have you on. You know, this is called Pigs from the Past, and you're definitely a big pig from what I remember. You know, in our playing days. And if I'm catch me if I'm mistaken, you were actually runner-up on the Silver Pigskin 2 years back to back.
I was actually. I was. Good memory. I thought I was gonna get it my senior year, but you outdid me, brother.
Man, I remember every time your highlights came on, it was like, this guy is a machine. You already like, what was your size in high school? Because you were already like 200 pounds your senior year.
I was actually a little bit bigger my junior year because I really got into the weightlifting my sophomore year, transitioning into my junior year because that's when I learned. That's when you get, the most recruitment, so on and so forth. And I just wanted to be ready, dude. So I was just, chucking and running and so on and so forth. And coincidentally, my sophomore year, I was a track runner as well. And we had just won CIF in the 4x4. So I had the legs and the stamina to just run. So all summer, I just transitioned into the summer into my junior season. And, I had a pretty good standout junior season, which kind of put me on the map for colleges for recruitment as well as PPR, bro. And it was just kind of an exciting process,
Let's talk about that. What was it like being on PPR, being like blown up on PPR as a junior in high school, leading into your senior year?
I mean, it was kind of cool. I had no idea what it was actually until I stayed the night at one of my teammates' house, guy Richard Dooley. He happened to live right across the school. So we went over his house after the games, had a couple little bites to eat, hopped in the jacuzzi. And he's like, oh, well, let's watch PPR. I'm like, what's PPR? And that's when he explained to me all the high school highlights and so on and so forth. And that's when I really started to learn about all the other talent in San Diego because, I was in a little bubble up there in Poway. So I didn't really know much, bro, until I really saw PPR and I was like, wow, San Diego's actually got some ballers, dude. So like I would really look forward to watching PPR every Friday just to see the different kind of competition out there. And that's when I learned about you and, D. Sumler and, Menelik and, Will Yateman and a bunch of other guys in our graduating class.
Yeah, man. What was it like, after you recognized, dang, this is a nice platform where there's a lot of athletes. How was it seeing your first time on PPR?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty dope to actually watch myself on TV and hear Paul Rudy with his little, commentary and whatnot. And I was like, oh man, this is kind of dope. Like, and then obviously over the years, it's evolved even more to become what it's become today. And it's just kind of been, like I said, an exciting process just as watch myself as well as many other athletes, excel out there and be able to show their talents, to all of San Diego County, whoever else has access to KUSI PPR.
Do you have a favorite memory that stands out to you about, the PPR, being on the PPR or seeing something on the PPR?
Well, obviously, my favorite memory was actually, going to the gala when we were the 5 finalists. Myself, you, Will Yateman, Demetrius was there as well, correct? If memory serves correctly.
Yeah.
And I believe it was a D tackle from Point Loma.
Josh Holmes.
Yeah, Josh Holmes. Yeah. So yeah, it was cool. That we got picked up from a limo from our houses. We got to bring a date. And me being me back in the day, I had 2 dates. I don't know if you remember. So it was kind of cool, to actually sit there and go over the season highlights throughout the season and whatnot, and get to the grand finale. And it was just an exciting experience, just to, kind of be recognized for your talents and your hard work throughout the season and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that year, that was the first time that the KUSI PPR Silver Gala went live on KUSI.
Wow.
That was the first time it was actually like a show, put on over at the Hall of Champions.
Exactly, right over there. Yes. Sir.
Yeah, man, that was a really good experience. Now, you were very successful right after that, going to San Diego State University. What made you decide to stay here in San Diego and go to San Diego State University?
I was lucky, bro. Being at Poway High, I had access to a lot of professional athletes and coaches already just because of the community. And my best friend, Daniel Lofton, his dad was a Hall of Fame receiver, athlete coach for the San Diego Chargers at the time. So I was lucky enough to get a lot of knowledge dropped on me, as well as my track coach. He was my basketball coach, football coach, and track coach at the time. God rest his soul. Rick Sharp, the uncle of Shannon Sharp and Sterling Sharp, just the community just kind of poured into me and kind of helped me understand it. Yeah, even though I had all these big time scholarships and offers and so on and so forth, I will more than likely find myself splitting a lot of time with a lot of backs versus if I went to a smaller Division I school and stayed local and actually have a lot more playing time, which would give me a lot more film, which in turn would give me a better opportunity for that next level if I wanted to play at that level. So, I just took the advice of everyone and it made sense to kind of stay local, and San Diego's paradise compared to where I'm originally from. So just made sense to stay at home, bro.
Right, and it worked out really good for you because you ended up making it. What was your journey like after SDSU?
Man, it was tough. It was stressful. It was different. You know, I was, being in college, I'm a man, I'm on my own, but at the same time, I have a strict system between 6 a.m. workouts, class all day, then practice afterwards. And then, sometimes we had to go to study hall depending on certain days of the week. But, now I was truly on my own. I mean, luckily for me, that fall season, my last season, I had already graduated early in the spring. So I had already had a small taste of just, going to football practice, going to workouts, and having the rest of the day for myself. So as you're aware, I was already kind of involved in, some entrepreneurial things, kind of putting myself in a position to be financially comfortable once I was truly in the real world, because I had no idea that NFL lockout was going to happen. I wasn't prepared for that. I was used to being prepared and being aware from my teammates from their experiences. Boom, you're done with college, you train for the combine. After the combine, shoot, you go into rookie mini camp. Then after that, OTAs, all that good stuff. So, you got football pretty much year round going into the fall. But, we had that lockout in 2011, and it was just dead silence. And when I say dead silence, you couldn't have any communication with any type of NFL organizations. So I found myself just working out all day, every day with the combine guys. We had our pro day at San Diego State. Then after that, I was just kind of just lost in limbo, just trying to figure out, what my future was going to be like. And, luckily for me, I kind of already naturally fell into the training athletes and being a coach and so on and so forth. So that kind of worked for me, as well as my outside entrepreneurial backgrounds. But I had no idea that I was going to get an opportunity to play football, or football was actually going to come back, because the lockout just kept getting extended and extended and extended all the way until I got a phone call, I believe it was July 27th, 2011, from a representative from the San Diego Chargers organization. And they were like, "Hey, Brent, is this Brandon Sullivan?" Like, "This is. Who am I speaking with?" I recognized the 619 number, so I instantly answered it. "This is such and such from the San Diego Chargers. Would you like to be a Charger?" And I was like, "Wait, excuse me?" Like, "Yes, you heard me. Would you like to be a Charger?" Like, "Heck yeah, I love to be a Charger." Like, "Well, come on down." Kind of like the Price is Right type of situation.
Right.
So I was like, "Well, I wasn't prepared for this. Can you give me a couple hours to pack all my bags, so on and so forth, and I'll head on down to the facilities. I already know where you guys are located. Thanks for the opportunity. I'll see you soon." And he was all about it. Packed my bags up, bro. And like a giddy little kid. I drove over to my ex-girlfriend, my girlfriend at the time. Her job, let her know what the situation was. And, "Hey, baby, I'm going to camp. Wish me luck. See you in a couple weeks." And there it was, bro. So it was just, like I said, it was just crazy experience, because I didn't really have a chance to go through the rookie mini camps and the OTAs, and the fact that I had a call to go to training camp, just straight into training camp, was exciting. It just goes to show, like the hard work and ethicness, that the faith and fortitude to just fight through all the, the unknown. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
awesome, man. That's awesome. Now, and after you had went through camp, what was that experience like for you?
an emotional roller coaster, man. Um, it was tough, because I got to camp, and a lot of guys, because of the lockout, they were out of shape. So me being in shape, me being a track guy, like I said, I was already training a bunch of guys. I had a lot of guys who were just NFL guys who were already playing, guys who were graduating with me going into the NFL, who we were 20 deep at sometimes. Demetrius is some of the guys who were working out with us, where we were just all just staying in shape. And I was actually one of the last few to get, to go to camp. But anyways, because of my endurance and my natural speed, I found myself getting a lot of reps at the ones, literally catching balls from Phillip. And it was really exciting, to be getting reps at the ones. And it got to a point where we went live, offense, defense, North Turner. It was a slow day in practice. And he just kind of got tired of the lackluster performance. And hey, forget this. Since you guys want to lollygag, we're going live. 3 plays, let's go. Everyone gets all hyped. Woo! Running back coach. Go ahead, Sully. I'm like, oh, cool. Let's go. I'm here with the boys. Let's do it. Take a little power. I cut back. Your boy Takeo Spikes. I don't know if you know, but he played for the Chargers that year because he wanted to go to the playoffs. Never had a chance to go to the playoffs. Anyways, yeah. I cut backside. It was a big old gap. You're not supposed to take the power backside, but that thing was so big that my body went back towards it. And he cut back so fast with me, and I wasn't expecting to see him in that hole. And me, not doing what I shouldn't have done. What I teach people all day: don't duck your head, sink your hips, eyes up. I ducked. Went home with the helmet, herniated 3 discs in my neck. That pretty much ended my career, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah. Just as fast as I got there is just as fast as I was going.
Wow. And then, but you recovered from that because, after that, what was that process like for you, getting back into your entrepreneurial spirit and getting things rolling for yourself?
It was tough. I'm not going to lie. I went through a little depressing moment. I realized what it is now. I had depression, just sitting at the house. I was, kind of emotional, lashing out on people close to me just because, I got this close to my dreams, man. And it just ripped right from under my feet. And it was, basically from my own doing. So I was more hard on myself as well. And, at the same time going through the physical therapy and the rehab, fighting to just get back, man. And I was like, bang, if I got there once, I could get there again. And I just kept grinding and working and fighting through the rehab. And also was to the point where the doctors were telling me, hey, you're never going to play. You're never going to play again. It's not worth it. My agent, he was like, hey, based upon the results of your injury, they're saying it's not even worth it. You've got this medical paperwork. You might as well fill the paperwork out and go ahead and get your workers' compensation and get it out the way and move on with your future. And then he's like, hey, and if for whatever reason you magically get healthy again, maybe they'll give you another shot. So whatever. Went through the worker compensation process, so on and so forth. They took me a while to get paid out, but I eventually got paid out, and I moved on with my future in regards to, still training athletes. And I kind of got lucky and fell into a position one day where somebody saw my athletic abilities and talents and was like, hey, assumed that I was playing for a team because I was working out with the guys who still play. And once he found out that I didn't, he was like, hey, well, I'm a talent agent, so on and so forth. I would love to use you for some motion caption work and some stuntman work if you're interested, all football related. And of course, who wouldn't want to, do football related stuff in front of a camera? Pretty much the same thing,
Right.
That's when I first got introduced to being a motion caption specialist for EA Sports NFL Madden back in 2013, going into 2014.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome. It takes a lot, to be able to get out of that funk, because I know all of us as athletes face it at some point when it ends. All we know is that one thing. We're creatures of habit. If our habit is football, now all of a sudden we got to kind of change our focus from like our training, the hitting, the competition, being with our boys in the locker room. It becomes tough to get out of. But I definitely give you a lot of props, man, to be able to get out of that. Get out of that funk and then get into, still finding your passion with football, being able to get compensated for football, which is, impressive in itself, becoming a professional in its own. And definitely give you a lot of props for that, man.
Appreciate you for that, brother, man. Thank you very much.
So now what's going on with you nowadays? I see you got the Gain Sports Performance on. So what's that all about?
Oh, thank you for asking. Yeah, for sure. Naturally, I found myself since high school, training athletes. You know, my coach and I, we kind of partnered up. You know, we get a group of kids together and, you know, split the profits throughout the summertime. And I already had a vision. I went to school originally for kinesiology, for a vision to open up my own training brand, so on and so forth. And, you know, gains for most people is just the gains, but gains for me is actually an acronym, which stands a group of athletic individuals networking zealously. You know, because that's what we all do, and naturally in general. You know, we're all trying to make it to the next level. We all know somebody who knows somebody who could put us in the best position to succeed, and that's what we do as a collective. So naturally, it just made sense for me to make that my brand, and it's been my brand since 2012, but it took me a while to actually take initiative and actually go ahead and, you know, get incorporated and so on and so forth back in 2016 before someone else stole my brand, or should I say use that name, and I couldn't have access to that brand name anymore. And it's been an exciting process and experience. I've run youth camps and clinics, and I kind of plateaued in the area in regards to having an accessibility to kids. So I also found myself starting a youth flag football league with a couple of college buddies of mine. And that brand is also called NFL Leagues United. So between those two, I'm literally around kids year round, where I have a spring football season and a fall football season. And I run camps and clinics for not only those flag football league participants, but many other kids in the community in the summertime and also in the winter times as well.
That's awesome, man. And with closing this out, man, because it was really nice to hear all that from you, and I love to hear, everything's going good for you, and your entrepreneurial spirit is still kicking off, and now you have multiple things going on, which is amazing. What advice would you give some of these youngsters now, coming out of high school, chasing their football dreams, going to a Division I school? What advice can you give those guys?
Man, keep grinding no matter what people say to you, no matter how they may make you feel, whether it's positive or negative. Just stay positive, keep believing in yourself, believe in your dreams, and keep working towards them, because you never know how many other doors will open by you just keeping that positive mindset, that positive spirit, and that positive work ethic. And as long as you do that, people will recognize it. And I promise you, many doors and opportunities will open and will exist that you never even envisioned or dreamed of.
There you go, man. There you guys have it from one of the best out of San Diego, Brandon Sullivan. Hey, it was really nice to have you on the show, man. Really look forward to bringing you back again, maybe even the gala coming up November 30th.
Man, it would definitely be nice to be there, and it would definitely be nice to connect with you as well. I mean, I know you're doing some things with the kids and the stuff in the community, and maybe we can collab like we were discussing pre-COVID to get back together and get back into this community, give back to these kids and give them the kind of opportunities that we had. Because I mean, at the end of the day, if it wasn't for people doing what I'm doing right now, to me, I wouldn't have had the opportunities I had. And I know you feel the same way, bro, and that's why you're doing what you're doing. I appreciate you for what you do. I see what you do, and I respect what you do, brother, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you as always, man. It's always a pleasure.
Definitely. Stay blessed.
All right. Take care.